this is not a golden calf, but rather a, quote, symbol of resilience, freedom, patriotism, strength, and the willpower to keep fighting for the future of America.
Just as Jesus always wanted. Which of the 10 Commandments is that? Methinks dost protest too much.
You tear down the house, then you put up the rent. You pocket the cash, and you crush all dissent.
Welcome to the Red Diaper Pail, episode 37. We are recording on Sunday, May 10th, 2026. This is a podcast about art, culture, history, politics, technology, and parenting from a left perspective. And I am Simone.
And I am John Paul. It's Mother's Day.
It is Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you.
And happy Mother's Day to you, our listener.
To all the mothers.
All the mothers. It's very active and exhausting Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Lots of weird meal times.
Then we finally fed the babies a real meal and they were like chowing down.
Yes, they did.
Might have starved them all day inadvertently.
No. Well, sometimes they'll learn to overcome when things don't go exactly right.
I slammed one of their heads into the table today.
Yeah, they got a nice little bump on their.
I know. All the people in the restaurant looked over at me.
Oh no! Yeah, the restaurant was not happy with our. I kept wanting to be like, we are going to get it together here in a second. You just got to go. I know it seems bad.
No, but no one judged us. Were people judging us?
I think that there was some concern at the beginning, but I think we got it together. So
well, the people right next to us left right when we got there, and the other people loved us.
No, but I think was every time there was a loud noise, she like darted her head over to see what was going on.
No, I know her.
Yeah,
she likes me.
Yeah, I think it's cool.
Yeah, and then the waitress who became the waitress, the second waitress, she loves us too.
Yeah, but the first one quit. Just
we did drive one waitress away.
Did you know that Mother's Day has political roots
as an anti-war thing? No.
Yes, it did. And everyone on Instagram wants me to know it.
You're being psyoped.
I think the algorithm is my friend in this case, but
it was
like it is most of the
way back in the late 1800s, right?
I believe that the woman that it's dedicated to did a lot of really important activism in the late 1800s, and I think her daughter got it to be a national holiday in the early 1900s in her honor. But she was doing women's work days. So a worker-oriented thing that she was doing.
I thought it was an anti-war.
She was also an anti-war activist, and her daughter that was a big part of her daughter's motivation.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm not a historian on this, so I'm sure I'm wrong about most of it. But the real question is, which came first, Father's Day or Mother's Day?
Mother's Day. Father's Day is just a made-up Hallmark holiday, like Grandparents' Day. Like, an opportunity to sell ties.
Sonora Smart Dodd was inspired to honor her father, William Jackson Smart, after hearing a Mother's Day sermon in 1909. She wanted to honor her father, a Civil War veteran who had raised 6 children alone.
Well, you just give him something on Mother's Day. We really have to.
No, but it didn't become official holiday until Nixon signed it into law.
Hallmark lobby.
1972.
Hallmark lobby. All right, so I've got some horrible headlines.
Okay.
We are going to go where this one's like not from the past week, although the story remains active. Okay. So this is from NPR on April 22nd. The Justice Department indicted the Southern Poverty Law Center on Tuesday, a few Tuesdays back, alleging the civil rights group defrauded donors by using their money to pay informants to infiltrate extremist groups. Are you following this story?
Yeah.
So they're claiming that between 2014 and 2023, the SPLC secretly funneled over $3 million in donated funds to individuals associated with the Klan, the National Socialist Party of America, etc., which are right-wing white nationalist groups. And Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche announced the charges, saying that the SPLC is manufacturing racism to justify its existence. which is an insane quote. So there's a bunch of stuff we could talk about here, but I think before we dive in, I'll say that the other thing that happened was that less than a week later, Fidelity, Vanguard, and Schwab all announced that they would block money going to SPLC from their donor advised funds.
Correct.
Donor advised funds are the way highfalutin donors donate.
Mm-hmm.
It is also not.
We're about the lowfalutin.
The lowfalutin don't do DAF. It's also not in their legal.
That's a great tagline for the podcast. The lowfalutin don't do DAF.
Heard it here first, folks. It is not actually within the legal documents for Fidelity, Vanguard, and Schwab to blockade SPLC. They just have to alert their donors as an active indictment. So they're making a political choice to stop money from going there.
They are.
So anyways, John Paul, your take, please.
This is a bunch of horse shit.
They're deliberately targeting SPLC.
Yeah. And they're going to get away with it. Do
you want to talk about what the SPLC does?
I don't know. I actually don't know a lot about them, except that they have done a lot of the research into hate groups, and they have probably the most robust, current database of hate groups and what they're up to. And obviously, they were doing it by having informants and people on the ground. I mean, this is in the world we want to build. This was what the FBI would spend their time doing. Yeah. But instead, as we'll get to later, the FBI is worried about people who believe trans people are people. So we have nonprofits like the SP, they have been extremely effective at this for a long time, and it makes sense that they would want to destroy it. I mean, it makes sense that obviously the Trumpians want to destroy it because they want. It's becoming more and more clear to me that they want racial segregation back, not de facto colorblind racial segregation, but they are very eager to have the images of people protesting the redistricting in Tennessee and elsewhere has made it clear to me that the one of the big thrusts of the movement is Jim Crow needs to come back post haste. Yeah. We need to have white only water fountains tomorrow.
And I think that Todd Blanche's comment makes that obvious, that this is that they're not saying, oh, there's, we are investigating because this practice of having informants, the payments weren't being handled properly. They're not pretending this is a bureaucratic sort of investigation. They're saying outright that they would like to advance a story that the SPLC is manufacturing racism because they're a progressive organization that tracks white nationalism, and that they're, mishandling funds, which is absurd. And also they're not hiding anything about the racial and political overtones of the targeting of SPLC.
Yeah. The more interesting thing is Fidelity, Schwab, and Vanguard, which I think is probably, if I had to guess, that they were threatened or they exchanged a favor. Yep. And it wasn't because they are themselves that motivated by this as much as there is that this Trump administration is using the state to get them on board. Yep. Or drag them on board somehow.
Yeah. So there's another organization. So the SPLC is the premier organization that's doing hate crime tracking and intelligence. That's, I think, beyond a shadow of a doubt.
I thought
but what's the other one that does it?
What is it called?
The ADL.
No, I was gonna say the one
Crafts Foundation. Yeah. So that's good. That's a good segue. So there's a couple other organizations that claim to do this. One is the ADL, and one is Crafts Stop Anti-Semitism organization. The ADL also uses undercover intelligence and has gotten in trouble for infiltrating Arab American groups in the 90s. But is I don't see they're on record as having a history of using infiltrators. Yeah. And they present that they are doing the premier intelligence of hate crimes and hate groups, and no one's investigating them.
No, because we all know that anti-Semitism, you don't need to create it or trump it up at all. No, certainly. It's just mostly on the left.
Certainly, they didn't redefine that anti-Semitism was any campus activism against the genocide of Palestinians while they were calculating their anti-Semitism incidents. They certainly didn't do that.
The funny thing about that is that if you told me the ADL was using their cash to like foment anti-Semitism and get some like incidents of severe anti-Semitism on record, I would completely believe you. That they were using the money to like get things to be worse than it was. I mean, we certainly know that the Israeli government is highly invested in the idea that Jews are not safe anywhere in the world except for in Israel. So, and that's what most of that research is about, is making it look a lot worse than it is.
It's true.
Which is also probably why that no one believes that anyone on the left actually cares about racism. They think that everyone's trying to score political points by making it a bigger problem than it really is.
Because that's what they're doing.
Because that's what they do.
Yeah.
They don't believe in anything, so they can't imagine in people who are actually just, against racism.
Yeah.
There are a lot of cynics in the cynical political leaders, so I'll give them that. But
well, this is one to watch just because if we get into targeting of NGOs and nonprofits, and the major lever you'd use is making it impossible to donate to them. So either taking their 501c3 status, or apparently you don't even need to take their 501c3 status if you get the big banks to just say they won't let money get through.
Yeah, well, you need a judicial system for.
Right.
This is what neoliberalism rots, is nothing is allowed to be like political because everything is decided by the market forces, which is to say that everything is political just outside of any kind of democratic control or oversight. Right.
The new CEO is a constitutional law professor, so he's both well-suited and not well-suited to handle this crisis.
Yeah. What do? I guess you all go without money for a while, or you find other ways to raise money on the side, or?
I think they have a pretty good runway over at the SPLC.
They're smart, they do.
And I think that they probably have some very dedicated donors who are like, I will be giving you money regardless. And they also, I was monitoring the situation from a professional standpoint to be like, how are they doing? What are they doing? They did a big fundraising push to their base because this isn't going to go away. They're going to be under indictment for a period. Like, this is not a quick solution here. I would guess they're going to lose heavy-hitting donors that aren't that committed to this particular thing, but they're not going to lose their, like, the ones who are, like, love them no matter what. And that's a longer-term problem, not a short-term problem, hopefully, unless they manage to really not use their cash well.
Yeah. I mean, if you actually care about anti-Semitism, and understanding how bad it is and where it is and what form
this is where you donate.
That's where you donate. You would not donate to the ADL. The ADL could care less about that.
This is a nonprofit. Like, they are pretty serious folks. I mean, these are serious like researchers and intelligence assets, and who are doing a service like you said that really the government should be doing. The FBI should be doing.
Yep.
Like, so it's very interesting that our government would choose to target them.
Yeah.
And
instead of the FBI investigating them, and all the leaders of these groups all have CIA handlers.
Yeah.
That's the reality of the state you live in.
Yeah. So this is a good segue
Mm-hmm.
to this past week. They released the FBI counterterrorism strategy.
I thought you were going to say the UFO files.
Well, I did look into those.
That's what's really exciting. Why are you burying the lead?
I looked into the UFO files for the purposes of this segment.
Okay.
And I was like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
Correct.
Like, we can't even make fun of it for like a minute. So what they did release was their FBI's counterterrorism strategy, which I read, and it's kind of boring. Mm-hmm. It's totally on brand from other strategy documents we've seen from the administration. They also proposed their 2027 budget, which includes a push for the FBI to proactively target extremism related to gender. Specifically, I think they earmarked like $160 million to deal with counterterrorism related to folks who advance anti-American and anti-traditional family ideologies. Mm-hmm. The FY 2027 budget request submitted to Congress April 4th funds a new FBI-led center dedicated to monitoring Americans for ideological beliefs that the federal government has classified as markers of potential terrorism. Included in that are various things like anti-Christianity, anti-capitalism, anti-Americanism, and extreme gender ideology. Or as well as extremism, as well as those who practice extremism on migration, race, or gender. So this is what our government is monitoring for.
Yeah.
And I guess it's probably a very important strategy for them to remove the SPLC from being able to monitor things because they don't want to be tracked.
That's right. I mean, they've used this strategy a lot of like, if something is bad and we don't want people to know that it's bad, we just have to stop counting it. They've done that with all kinds of economic numbers as well.
Well, certainly, like, scrubbing like health research off their websites that have anything to do with race or it's for I mean they've eliminated even being able to speak about certain types of obvious problems, like scientifically evidence-based health disparities. And I guess the strategy document was interesting. It did lead with a lot of this like propagandistic stuff about gender ideology and homegrown terrorists that are leftists and Antifa. Then most of the strategy document itself was about counterterrorism internationally, which was very in keeping with the documents we reread, the Department of War document and the Rubio speech. But it is concerning that they're earmarking money to like track gender extremists. I mean,
I expect them to do it, and I expect this is a great way for them to track anyone that they think is a threat to them. The two issues that they think that they can align their base around very, very quickly is immigrants and trans people.
Yeah.
So if you everything you want to do, they can't say political dissenters and stuff like that, but you can say all those people believe that trans people are people for the most part. I don't know about the American Communist Party, but everyone else does. So they can just start monitoring like they want to all those people. I mean, I don't know why they would spend that. I guess you need an enemy.
That enemy is in opposition to a very particular view of what America, white, nationalist, patriarchal, traditional America is. And they are erecting like a very clear vision of what that should look like. And that's why they're using words like against traditional family values. And that's why you have the sort of like civilizational, like the words we see about like those who have civilizational like value and the civilizations are the peoples who don't. It's about Western European descent, patriarchal families.
Yeah,
are the vision.
Yeah, I guess if anyone has a chance of peeling off members of their base, which are very pissed off white workers, certainly none of these liberal or neoliberal groups have any chance of doing that. So
right, and if you're dealing with like pissed off white male workers, if you can get them so frothing on the mouth about race and gender politics, then they are hard to peel off.
Right.
Especially if they are convinced that all like the people offering a different ideology are like trans Antifa.
Yeah.
Like, okay, well, this one's fun. It was Mother's Day. So Donald Trump felt it would be a good time to go down to Mar-a-Lago and have a golden statue dedicated to himself.
Yeah, they're literally doing golden calf, except it's not even a calf, it's himself.
Yeah.
And still
JD Vance is in for it.
Yeah.
Matt?
I mean, is JD Vance going, I know he's the Antichrist, I just like the rapture to happen, so I'm sort of helping accelerate this. I mean, the guy he's like speed running like a joke about the Antichrist.
That's because he's mogging you. So yes, there was a giant gold-leafed, I don't know, effigy erected at Mar-a-Lago. The statue was $500,000. Shows Trump raising his right fist, I guess, because that's when after he got shot in the ear.
Right.
Air quote shot in the air quote ear.
Yeah. Which since has regenerated.
He did a Rage Against the Machine shout out with his.
Don't investigate that, man. I think it might be an anarchist.
He invited evangelical leaders to gather and pray over it and bless it in the dedication ceremony.
I mean, he made a golden idol and then he forced the religious leaders to come pray to it.
You've walked right into this. Pastor Burns, who is there, I don't know who this man is, but he is a MAGA evangelical leader, says, quote, "Let me say this plainly. This is not a golden calf."
People talk about the golden calf. Well, is this the golden Trump?
Yeah, well, of course, it's preposterous. It's blasphemy to even think that. I mean, if you knew me, and of course, I don't know anybody who worships Donald Trump as a god. This statue symbolized patriotism of Americans. It represents the will to fight.
This is not a golden calf, but rather a, quote, symbol of resilience, freedom, patriotism, strength, and the willpower to keep fighting for the future of America.
Just as Jesus always wanted. Which of the 10 Commandments is that? Methinks dost protest too much.
This is here. Look at it. I mean, our listeners can't see it, but like, look how big it is.
Oh my God! Look at that thing.
It's in a robe.
Yeah, he's dressed as Jesus again. He's literally dressed as Jesus again.
He's got his hair creates such a cliff on the top of his head that I'm sure the pigeons will like it. I don't think JD Vance was invited. I don't think that they spend a lot of time together.
No, I don't think they like each other very much.
So that's concerning.
What's concerning is not that he would do that. It's real uncharacteristic. What's concerning is that
It's concerning that we have to.
none of these people are like, what the fuck are we doing?
It's concerning that this is normalized. It's like we could, if we covered every time there was like a gold statue or some like bizarre praying over something about Trump, we talk about it every week.
Yeah.
That's not that was not like 10 years ago. It would have been weird. Headlines weird, not like our headlines, but like everyone being like, is the president okay?
Yeah.
Should somebody stop him?
It's almost like the news has decided like we can't report anymore about what a crazy person he is because everyone knows about that.
It's boring.
And it doesn't add anything. Like the people who are like, that guy's fucking insane. It doesn't. And the people who like refuse to see him for what he is, that doesn't move the needle there either. I think it would be national news if like Gavin Newsom did in California had a big statue.
He would also have a good hair clip for the pigeons.
He would. No, he would be looking good in that statue, that's for sure.
I think he's not good looking.
Gavin Newsom?
No, he looks like a robot good looking.
Clavicular disagrees with you, so you're wrong.
I don't.
Clavicular is scientific about it, and you're just being subjective.
I'm a scientific Marxist about it. I don't think clavicular is good looking either.
Put a pin in that conversation about objective beauty standards.
Oh yeah, because we completely destroy those.
Yeah.
In just a few short minutes, John Paul will explain to you how beauty will not exist under communism.
That's because under communism, we'll all be forced to look exactly the same. We're going to get facial reconstruction surgery, so you won't be able to tell people apart. That's the only way to achieve true equality.
We're putting clavicular in charge of that.
I mean, you have to give credit to expertise. No, what did Mao say?
Let 1,000 flowers bloom.
Women hold up half the sky. No.
No, Nick Kristof said that. Do you know that that's the name of one of his books?
Women hold up half the sky?
Yeah.
That's a Mao quote.
I mean, someone investigate Nick Kristof. I think he might be a communist. Just kidding. He's absolutely not that. If you don't know, I mean, that.
So anyway,
Cuddle.
The Mao slogan I'm referring to in this case is no investigation, no right to speak. So Clavicular's put in the work to learn about this stuff, and you have not. So shut your mouth.
Okay. Bringing up the rear.
Okay.
Ready?
Mm-hmm.
This is from So Informed, which really does do the best curation of horrible headlines.
Yes. Thank you. So Informed.
Yes. I think you're doing great work. Oh,
it's so depressing every time your thing comes up, but thank you for doing it.
The NYPD shut down 6 blocks around an illegal sale of stolen Palestinian land held at a synagogue in Manhattan, pepper sprayed and assaulted protesters. This is a real headline. There was a real sale of Palestinian land
on the West Bank.
And the West Bank at a synagogue in Manhattan over this past weekend that needed a free speech zone created around it by the NYPD. They shut down 6 blocks. This is called the, quote, Great Israeli Real Estate Event of 2026. That was the real name of the event. I did not make that up.
Yeah.
It was held in a synagogue. An intentional choice made by organizers is that they can claim a tax on religion for the protests that would obviously follow.
Right.
This
is an attempt to put Mamdani in a double bind, and it worked like a charm.
I mean, it certainly did that, but I think they were going to have this real estate sale no matter what.
Right. So they said, what a great opportunity to use something that's going to happen anyway to embarrass Mamdani, and that's what they did.
Apparently, the protesters were vigorous because there was a lot of. I didn't watch some.
Well, I mean, imagine the.
They should be. No,
imagine
they should
Germans were selling Jewish land in in Germany.
Oh yeah, let's
after killing the whole family
why
in New York City. You think people would be upset about
let's
that?
auction off some fine art and jewelry that we pilfered from these Jews that before we sent them to the concentration camps. No, the protesters should be pissed.
Yeah.
And the cops were also pretty intense.
Aggressive, yeah.
And what did the mayor say?
He said that their First Amendment rights were respected.
Whose?
The protesters.
Because they could protest 6 blocks away.
Yeah, that the police actions did not diminish their First Amendment rights.
It's very difficult to protest if you're being pepper sprayed.
And that he condemned. I think he condemned. He said the sale of the property, but didn't do anything. So this is what I told your father this in the beginning. This is going to be the Achilles heel. Is there is no way to govern a capitalist society and not bring the weight of the police state down on your left challengers.
Not only did you tell my father that, you told me and our podcast listeners.
All right, okay.
And then my father heard it again.
Anyways, this is always the Achilles heel. There's a lot of fuckery that goes on, and you can always go, well, he should have done this or tweaked a little bit, or there's some way to navigate through it, but this is the contradiction there's no escaping from. And I think a lot of people are like, there's a way to he could have taken the side of the protesters, and I think that's wrong. He absolutely could not. His entire position, the fundamental truth of his position is he needs to maintain law and order, particularly from the left.
Yep.
And you can't, what is he going to do? He's going to have the NYPD stand down and have protesters ransack a synagogue and have those pictures all over. I mean, and I'm not saying he should be scared of being called anti-Semitic, because he is going to be anyway, and that he should think that the enemies that he has are going to be more dangerous with more ammo. But I am saying that his survival as a political figure, and he will tell you, I had things I wanted to accomplish. I cannot have my administration destroyed within the first 4 months by what he considers the ultra leftist protesters who are getting in the way of grocery stores and all the potholes being filled and the buses and this and that.
I think this is a bind, but I don't think he would characterize the people who are protesting the illegal sale of land.
He would not say protesting, but trying maybe to storm it. Yeah, he would probably say.
So he's on record as saying that a real estate expo that is promoting the sale of land, which includes the sale of land in occupied West Bank and settlements that are a violation of international law, is something I firmly disagree with. So he said that.
Okay.
He also said he was
say the same thing.
He was deeply opposed.
I don't even have to be the mayor of New York to say that.
He was deeply opposed to the event, and then he defended how the NYPD responded at a press conference the day after.
Yeah.
The organizers of the event are on record saying that the NYPD set up frozen zones a huge area. Also that they're claiming protesters were kettled, beaten, and pepper sprayed. And motorbikes were driven into protesters.
Oh my!
That's what the organizers are claiming.
Jesus Christ!
So I feel like that's a level. Also, I don't know what if you're the mayor of New York, I don't know what you're gonna do. You're right. You're not gonna let the protesters storm the synagogue. But also, it's insane that a synagogue is protected as a place of worship and free speech when it's actually just the place you're having your real estate sale. You don't let anything happen inside of a house of worship. There are limits to what gets to go ahead. So what would happen if something really atrocious was happening? Something really atrocious was happening there. But you do take action if atrocious things are happening inside of a house of worship.
Yeah, I mean, I guess what he would hope is if they were obviously and explicitly breaking New York law to bathe him, that he would hope no one knew about it, because he doesn't want to send the NYPD in there to arrest a bunch of people. I don't know. I'm not going to give him advice about how to best approach this, besides that he should resign, because there is absolutely no way to be a principled person on this issue and be a executor of the capitalist state. It's just, you're doomed. You're dooming the movement. You're dooming your supporters to demoralization. No one will ever take you seriously that you cared about this, because you're facilitating a genocide by having the New York police protect genocideers. So where do you go from here? I mean, Like I don't think he missed like the smart thing to do. He did, I think, the only smart thing you could do in this case, which was incredibly stupid.
Well,
So
I don't know. I feel like a well-timed and secretive cyber attack on the synagogue. Oh, he can just cut the Wi-Fi in that area. He's literally he's the public works guy
or something.
Well, also you could say, listen, I hear there's very nice synagogues in other cities, but we're like, you're not like, what happens if he's like, you're not actually getting like city protection for this event? They're gonna bite that bullet?
They're going to take pictures of protesters storming a synagogue and say, we told you that it was going to be the intifada in New York City, and here it has come. There's an intifada.
You think this is more about a political point than it is about trying, like, if you want to have a successful real estate sale,
they'll have it later. They can have it later. Of course, that's what they wanted. I mean, they wanted what they got, which is to see him back down because they understood he didn't have a choice. That's what they wanted, and they got it. He delivered them a huge political victory.
So when he resigns, what would you have him do? What job do you think he should have?
I think he should join the protesters. And we should say we need to organize a movement that would make it impossible to have these real estate sales in New York City.
So you think that he would be more effective if he just hopped into a protest?
I think
left being mayor.
I think that if you're interested in achieving reforms, I think that MLK is better positioned to push for reforms than LBJ. And I think that social movements are where reforms come from. I don't think you can execute them. But I don't think you can even be sympathetic to them. When he's negotiating the union contract, whose side are you on if the teachers of New York want to negotiate their contract? Whose side?
I'm always on a teacher's
side. All right,
side.
so if they say we want $1 million a year, whose side are you on?
Teacher's side.
Okay. What is Mamdani going to do? Is he going to be able to be on the teacher's side? He has to be against the teachers.
I know. Okay, listen. Would you rather have, though, LBJ or Mamdani if you're MLK?
I think that
you can't go on record saying you'd rather have LBJ.
I'm not going to go on record that I'd rather have LBJ. I think that
regardless of what the question is, LBJ is never the answer.
Never the answer. Besides, which president had the biggest dick?
According to LBJ.
I think that the point of a social movement is that you should be agnostic about the individual in charge of the state because you understand the nature of the state and the nature of who your enemy is. So you should not have a preference. You should have power such that they can't stop you and not be like pulling up heartstrings, and like you're not going to like make LBJ feel bad. You might make LBJ's political ports feel bad for you, but you're not going to make LBJ feel bad for you. Or Mamdani feel bad for you. You have to make it so that they don't have a choice, which is honestly the only way that Mamdani can do anything anyway. Because the only way he can go to his masters and say, look, I did it because I had no other option. These people were going to tear the city down. Is that what you wanted?
Okay.
In any case, tonight on the Red Diaper Pail, we're announcing an auction of the Park East Synagogue. DM us. It's going to be a silent auction, and whoever offers the most amount of money will be able to buy from us the Park East Synagogue.
Yep. Currently, the police are surrounding our home.
Yeah, to protect us.
From
counter-protesters who might think this is anti-Semitic for some reason, which is not.
Protecting us during our obviously illegal sale, because we deserve the protection.
Yeah. They don't have to agree with our right to do it.
No.
To make sure that the protesters don't storm our house.
Yep.
That's the important thing.
And
we will announce the winner at the beginning of the next episode. And we could really use the money, so.
Wreak havoc on the weak.
God.
Your powers will fade as you grow old. 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 You're on the make and you don't do regret. You're always out for what you can get. You think like a snake and you ooze like a snail. Let the trail go cold as you swallow your tail. With your low rent skills and your heart of flint, telling your tales that are unfit to print. You're all weasel words backed up by the boots obsessed like the rest,
with a promise of loot.
Your pies will fade as you grow old. Your pies will fade as you grow old. Your pies will fade as you grow old. Your pies will fade as you grow old.
I love you.
That was a funny joke. Okay. You should just cut it there. Okay.
Yeah.
Well adjusted. JP made a funny joke. It only took 37 episodes.